Joan Miraut's painting The Tilled Field shows a background sky of this color. Salvador Dali's painting The Great Masturbator features a giant distorted face of this color in the shape of a rock formation, and in Marc Chagall's Eye in the Village, the chapel and rightmost house are this color. A 1925 Kandinsky painting is titled after this color with red and blue, and J.M.W. Turner experimented with the Indian pigment of this color derived from the urine of mango-fed cows. Though not green, this is the color of the titular figure hanging on a cross in a painting by Paul Gauguin. For 10 points, give this color that covers most of Van Gogh's sunflower. And the answer is yellow. A woman at the bottom middle of a painting with this title washes a baby's bottom next to a fire roasting a boar's head. To the right of that fire, a doctor checks a patient's teeth beneath a diagram of vermin invading a heart. Another painting of this name was originally titled Landscape Noon and includes a white and brown dog looking at two men heading towards a woman reaching into a river. That painting of this name features smoke rising from the chimney of Willie Lott's cottage, and the former painting with this name features 3 panels depicting fallen angels, hell, and the tidal mode of transportation in the center. For 10 points, give this name of a triptych by Bosch and a rural painting about a farm cart in a river by John Constable. And the answer is the Hay Wain. The inspiration for this painting came after the poet Juan Larrea visited its artist to urge him not to make the subject the artist's studio. In the upper left of this painting, a dove is inscribed on the wall where a crack reveals a bright light, and on the right side of this painting, a woman raises her hands in the shape of airplanes. A screaming head floats in the mid-right of this painting. On the top, a bare light bulb in the shape of a human eye hangs over a horse with a knife as a tongue, under which lies a flower and a dead man holding a broken sword. For 10 points, name this black, white, and gray mural painting by Pablo Picasso in response to the 1937 bombing of the titular Basque village during the Spanish Civil War. And the answer is Guernica. This Italian painter was a student of Filippo Lippi. Among his key early paintings are The Adoration of the Magi and portrayals of Saints Sebastian and Augustine. For the Sistine Chapel, he painted the youth of Moses. Returning from Rome to his native Florence, he painted 2 versions of the Annunciation and of the Lamentation over the dead Christ. Among his many Madonna with Child paintings are ones subtitled Magnificat, Pomegranate, and Book. In this artist's most famous painting, flowers float around the title figure in a shell. For 10 points, name this painter of Venus and Mars, the Spring, and the Birth of Venus. And the answer is Sandro Botticelli. Possibly due to influence from Ovid's poem Fausti, a figure in this painting was painted with a more blue-green color rather than the traditional peach coloring. The central figure of this painting is wearing a traditional wedding crown. While the subjects are mythological, there are no stories in which all of the figures gather. This led some to believe that the subjects represent various aspects of Renaissance Neoplatonism. A figure on the left of the painting uses a wand to stir clouds, and the blue-green figure grasps a woman with flowers flowing from her mouth. From the top of this painting, Cupid aims an arrow at the 3 muses as they dance to the left. For 10 points, name this Botticelli panel painting which depicts the lushness of spring. And the answer is La Primavera. When Pablo Picasso discovered this, he said, "Now I can kill myself. I have nothing else to learn." The right side of one work in this medium depicts a ladder, while in its middle a rope-covered deck symbolizes the separation of classes. Another work in this medium by Cartier-Bresson shows a bicycle at the bottom of a staircase, and yet another work in this medium shows a woman with her hand up to her chin as two boys cry at her shoulders. In addition to the decisive moment and the steerage, one work in this medium depicts a boy holding a hand grenade. Hyperrealists such as Richard Estes and Chuck Close imitated this medium. For 10 points, name this artistic medium of Migrant Madonna, whose artists included Dorothea Lange, Alfred Stieglitz, and Ansel Adams. And the answer is photography. This painting's artist later restretched the canvas and added a white substrate border among a series of colored dots that complement adjacent colors. The Marxist philosopher Ernest Bloch described this painting as a single mosaic of boredom. In the background of this painting, a blonde girl in an orange dress runs toward a wooded area to the right, and behind a small girl in a white dress clinging to her mother, a man plays a bugle. In the foreground of this painting, a black dog sniffs the ground behind a reclining man in a sleeveless orange shirt smoking a pipe. For 10 points, name this painting with a monkey on a leash and women holding parasols, a large pointillistic work set on the bank of the River Seine by Georges Seurat. And the answer is A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jatte. The background of this painting contains copies made by the artist's son-in-law, Juan del Mazo, of paintings by Peter Paul Rubens. A small mirror in the background of this painting portrays Mariana of Austria and Philip IV. A figure on the left of this painting, who may represent the artist, has the symbol of the Order of St. James painted on his chest. On the right-hand side of this painting, a child rests his foot on a large dog, and a member of the title group offers the princess a drink. For 10 points, name this Diego Velázquez painting, which depicts the Infanta Margarita. And the answer is Las Meninas. Louis Vauxhall unintentionally coined the term for this style while critiquing the painting Houses at L'Estaque. Max Weber painted Chinese Restaurant while working in the synthetic form of this art style. Violin and Candlestick was painted by a developer of this style named Georges Braque. Another developer of this style painted 5 nude women wearing African masks, as well as The Old Guitarist. For 10 points, name this artistic movement that included Pablo Picasso's Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, which used basic geometric shapes. And the answer is Cubism. This painter's work, Het Pelskin, is modeled after his second wife, Helena Formen, emerging from the bath. Living the final years of his life at his country home, Steen, this artist painted many natural scenes, such as his farmers returning from the fields. A triptych by this man, The Elevation of the Cross, was commissioned by the Antwerp Church in 1614, where he lived for much of his life. This Flemish painter of the Garden of Love names an adjective that refers to his voluptuous depiction of women. For 10 points, name this Baroque painter of the Marie de Medici cycle. And the answer is Peter Paul Rubens.